Hello, world. Welcome to the Goddess Lab podcast. My name is Maria, and this is our first episode. Today with me is none other than the team leader of Ascend, the wonderful, the machine, possibly AI. It's Coach Aria Vince.
Hello.
Yay!
What a nice introduction. My name is Aria Vince, and yeah, take it from here.
Yeah, Aria. Newbies want more core. The internet wants your skincare routine, and trolls are out there whispering BBL allegations. So, what do you say to that? Let's settle this once and for all.
Well, I mean, I feel like I spend my entire social media life defending these allegations. Of course, you know that I feel like it is very common nowadays, but something I pride myself in, especially when I started Team Ascend, is all about empowering women to do it naturally. As much as I don't have anything against surgery, I feel like the best way to achieve a dream body and also feel good doing it, feel healthy, is to do it in the gym.
I love that. Okay, so let's just get to it. We have a lot of questions. A lot of them come from our own Team Ascend members. Just so you guys know, I'm part of Team Ascend. I'm one of the OGs. I've been there since July, which is about the time you started with Ladder, correct?
2024, July, yeah, 11 months.
Yeah. Wow, almost a year. That's incredible. Thank you. Did I tell you thank you already enough? Because I have to thank you. Thank you so much for giving me my life back. Anyway, so what made you become a fitness coach in the first place? Where was the specific plot twist?
So, I mean, I am someone that has dabbled in a lot of different things. I have my attention span. I like to dip my toe. So I wanted to originally work with animals. I did my degree in psychology. I wanted to be a therapist. I've worked as a professional pizzaiola for 7 years in restaurants. I also had a little cake business for a while where I was baking cakes. But this was the one career that really stuck. So I've been training for 12 years. So when I started training, I didn't want to do that as my career. It was just like a mental health thing. And I did that. And I had my other jobs I dabbled in. And then when I finally decided, okay, let me just get my PT qualification, which also didn't actually teach me much. Everything I learned was more through experience. And that's when I was like, okay, this is something I could do for a living. And my turning point was kind of, I guess, studying psychology. And I also, for my final piece of dissertation, I interviewed bodybuilders for a study that I conducted and getting into that headspace. And it was about helping men with their body image, studying males' body image. Then I thought, let's piece this together, include it in my fitness. And I kind of discovered that I loved helping people. And that's when I decided to fully jump into fitness as a career.
That's amazing. So what was your first client experience like?
Well, it was a group client experience as my first ever. And it's funny because I used to work in Pure Gym. So anyone that's watching from the UK, it's like it's like Planet Fitness for you guys. Yeah. It's a big chain. And I'm a naturally soft-spoken, chill person, but back then I was even more so because I was like, this is out of my depth. It was my first day and my assistant manager at the time brought me in and was like, okay, watch me do this class once and then you have to just do it. And she put me on the spot there. She was like, just put music. And it was like 20 ladies, all like 40, 50, 60 years old, like the hardcore ones. They've been there for years. And I was just there like, so quiet. The music was louder than me. And I remember at the end, she was like, my assistant manager was like laughing at me. And she was like, oh, you're so quiet. Like making fun of me. Yeah. And me, how I am, I was like, right, we're not doing that. I'm going to become the best group fitness speaker.
Yes.
I went home, I studied it. I started just like made my own playlist. I got really good at it. And then I was banging it out. And that became my thing. I was doing spin class. I was doing legs, bums and tums. That was a class. And I enjoyed that.
You came back with a vengeance.
I came back. If someone says I can't do something, I come and do it times 10.
I love that. That's what we love about you on the team. You're such an inspiration to us. It's interesting because I'm 44 years old. There's a lot of women in my age, probably older. And I'm always like, it's so weird. How do we look up to somebody that's so much younger than us? But it's just, it's something lovely about the way you carry yourself, how genuine you are, and kind. kindness that actually translates through an app, through the internet. Like, and I've met you now, I've spent a couple of days with you, and you genuinely are this person, and you're just such a lovely, lovely person. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
How did Ladder discover you? How did you end up going from in-person training to now being on one of the biggest growing apps in the world, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
The pace it's growing is insane. So I'm really super grateful to be a part of it. And I was approached by someone who works there. He said he had been watching my TikTok for a year.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know, I had a really small Instagram following, and I was posting my TikTok. So maybe I had about 200K on TikTok. But I just really did it purely as a hobby. And he said, I really love your stuff. So he kept booking a call that I just had Calendly, like where you can book online calls if you want to become a client. So it was women's only. And I saw this man, he kept booking a call, and I was like, cancel. Like, I don't want to speak to you. And I didn't even know what Ladder, the app, was. And then I kept canceling until the one of the owners, the CEO, contacted me by email saying, hey, we're actually trying to get hold of you. Can we do a call? And I was like, oh, so this is not a scam.
Yeah.
And then that's how it started. And it was last year.
That's so cool. So what's your favorite part about coaching on Ladder?
I will say, because I used to do one-on-one coaching on my own sort of app before, but it was nowhere near Ladder in terms of user interface. And so I was quite limited there. I wanted so badly to have a video of me and have the extra coaching cues and actually teach people how to train harder. You can give someone a workout plan and say, do this 3 times 12, rest for this, but it's not the same as the Ladder experience. So for me, it's like the way I can have my voice there. I can put the percentages. I've got my videos there. And then the chat, I feel like that's the ultimate, possibly even better than in-person training, because you can actually be there and you've got someone in your ear and you can pause it, go at your own pace. You haven't got someone like in person shouting at you. Yeah. But it's basically the same as having an in-person trainer.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was so life-changing. I was afraid of the gym. I hadn't been in the gym for years. I was in the gym when I was back in my 20s, but now here I'm coming in. After becoming a mom, I put on over 100 pounds. I was scared to death. And you just have such a nice, calming voice, and you just communicate so clearly. You have tons of cues, and you just made me hyper focus on my form. But then the other thing that was shocking to me is how you push us to do progressive overload, which I had no idea what that was. So I would love for you to let everyone knows what progressive overload is. But that was something completely out of this world for me. It was always high reps, 12 reps, 15 reps, 3 sets of everything. Whenever I did try to go back into fitness, it was like boot camp and HIIT exercises where you are like dying. To me, it felt like a punishment. That's just like not what I enjoy. And I was so big, I would injure myself sometimes, and that would take me out. So I would dread wanting to go to the gym because I knew I was going to go and I was going to sweat, could injure myself. I had run, like all the things that I hated. It wasn't fun. Yeah. When I started on the Ladder app, starting to get to know your programming, I was so excited for the new moves. And then you saying, hey, you're not hitting your 90%. You should only have 2 reps in the tank. And I'm like, what does that mean? And it was so scary. And then going onto your social media and seeing you make the faces and you're sweating and you're like, this is not failure. This is failure. I was like, okay, I can push myself more. I have gotten so strong. It's been insane to me. Tell me about Team Ascend's programming. Like, how did that come about? Because to me, it's unmatched. What it's done for my body has been like, I feel like it's a miracle. I tell everyone, you have to join Team Ascend because that's where you're going to see the results, I
appreciate that. That's the
aim. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, Team Ascend, I train personally psychotically. Like I train, I love the pain of pushing yourself. I love just going until I cry. So when I program on Team Ascend, I essentially program how I train, but I, of course, modify things to fit a wider range of people with all of my training principles hitting. I always plan out. So before every series, I would say my process would be figuring out what our main goal of the series is. Let's say we're in max series, max strength or conditioning series. I'll then figure out the main movements we're going to be working on. I always make sure that we have some variety. Maybe we haven't done them last series. And then I always count all of the sets that we're going to have throughout the series. So we're not overdoing a specific body part. So everything, all the work that goes into it is very detailed, and I do a lot of different iterations before I actually program it on the app. So essentially, yeah, the secret behind Ascend is just, this is how I train, and I want everyone else to do.
That's what I always try to figure out. How do you know how long to make the cues for, or how long to make the exercises for? Like, how do you know it's going to take 45 seconds to do 8 reps of something? I feel like it takes a long time. I could see how writing your cues or speaking your cues, your voiceovers, that's what they're called. Yeah. Like how long that would take a long time.
The voiceovers take me the longest, but with the time, you just use a timer. So I'll look at my video and see how long it would take to do 1 rep.
Okay.
Times it by how many reps. But sometimes it might take a bit longer if you're really pushing yourself, or it might take shorter. So you can always adjust it on the app if you want an extra 5 seconds. But yeah, the voiceovers take a lot. But I think that's what's great about Ladder is, every week they're new. Mm-hmm. You're not getting like a cookie cutter. Like we're not allowed to repeat voiceovers and just copy and paste. So you're always going to get something new, and you can see the coach's personality shining through. And the reason it takes me so long is because I never use, like an AI software, or mm-hmm. I don't have a script. So I try to say, trying to speak for 1 minute and 20 seconds sometimes without making a mistake is hard. Yeah. But it gets easier.
Yeah. You've done this for a year now, so.
It's getting there.
What has been your proudest moment so far as a coach? On the app, actually.
On the app.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just sort of seeing the impact on the community, and actually the real impact on real people, because when you are just working on your laptop and you just see people's names on the chat, and mm-hmm. it's easy to kind of just think, these aren't real people. Yeah. I used to think, how would, thousands of people doing my program and actually addressing me and saying, oh, Coach Aria. When I used to see Coach Aria, I was like, who is this? Like, I'm Aria. It was a crazy transition working for Ladder. And then when I see the impact on how many different people all over the world, and, someone might have a family, someone is divorced, someone is going through something, they all have their own lives going on, and they're all coming together to do one program and uniting, and it's just amazing.
Our community is so special, I think, over the entire world, because we have people from all over the world in that chat. Yeah. And it's so crazy how this app has brought us together. And I've met some of my best friends now because of the app. I even met Katie. Hey, Katie. She drove down 12 hours and she worked out with me, and it was awesome. I just love our community. I think it's so great. Everybody's there uplifting. The chat is super, super active. Mm. And you're one of the most active coaches, I feel like. You're constantly in there. You try to answer all of the questions, and the rest of us piggyback, and we're like, let's answer for her too. Even though the question's not directed to us, we've been there for so long. One of the things that I noticed, when the newbies come in, a lot of times, people will be like, why do I have to rest more than a minute? Why do I have to rest more than 2 minutes? Like, they want to, I'm always in shock when people are like, it only took me 30 minutes to do a leg day. I'm like, 30 minutes.
That's me doing a warm up and one exercise. But I think I totally get it. I have so much patience for these questions, because I get it. Women, especially when you are conditioned to just do HIIT cardio all the time, and let's just do high reps to not look bulky, and minimal rest time so we can keep burning calories and keep the heart rate up. When you're going to a program with 2-3 minutes rest and you are pushing yourself to lift heavy, it's going to be foreign to you. So I always appreciate the questions and you guys answering for me, because it's good to educate and actually learn how to train, I would say, more effectively, but not more effectively as a whole, because it has their time. Every training style has their place. But if your goal is to build solid muscle, you have to kind of switch from that old methodology and actually train with a longer rest time and more intense.
One of the things that we've learned from you, and you keep saying about, how you want to educate us, and you're doing a great job with that, because all of us go out there and then we go and research the things that you tell us, and we're like, yeah, Aria knows her stuff. But we also see that people will come in and want variety, and they're like, why don't we get an entirely different workout every single week? Why is it the same workout in 6 weeks? And then after that, why is bodybuilding the way it is? Why are we not keeping it exciting? And
yeah, well, it's I try to strike a balance. So as much as we need to be doing the same thing for 6 weeks straight at least, I do an A and B week. So we'll do A week, we might have a reverse lunge. B week, we'll do a Bulgarian. The rest will stay the same. And it's so important to train this way because that way you can actually get stronger at the movements, get really good at them. Because if you're just changing every week, you're going to be learning new moves, but by the time you learn the form of one, we're already doing something else. So if you actually, it's boring. I don't even do an A and B week with my training. I do the same thing for even longer than 6 weeks, and that it gets boring. But what I like to think of it as, it's a new session every time because you are getting stronger. So instead of thinking, oh, the movements are the same, think, okay, well, I'm doing heavier than last week.
I actually do not think they're boring at all. I love it. I also love that, to me, it does seem like you put effort into making every week different because you might add a rep. You might ask us to add more weight. We might have to do a drop set.
Yeah. Top set, back off set is also really fun because you can do like 2 sets at 6 to 8 reps, finish off with a set that's lighter at 12 reps. It's kind of, it helps to keep that variety in.
It's crazy to me because now when I talk to people, I'm using all this vocabulary that I didn't know a year ago. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm a bodybuilder, basically. It's so funny. Like
the words.
Yes, it's like you change, you evolve and become a different person. And I really love that. What advice would you give to someone who is a beginner and who's intimidated with progressive overload and with weight training? Because I just feel like all of the marketing we see everywhere on social media, constantly on TV. And to me, it was getting better. I was a young woman. I was a young woman in the early 2000s. And it was a lot of like the thin, again, high reps, a lot of running, a lot of cardio. And I feel like it's coming back. Like skinny TikTok is exploded. Everyone wants tiny arms, tiny legs. Everybody wants the thigh gap. And with bodybuilding and your Hourglass program specifically, we're going for that nice shapely curves and sexy, and muscle and strength is sexy. How do you prepare people who are new and who are intimidated and scared about putting on muscle?
Well, I always say, you are not going to look like a bodybuilder overnight, and that takes so much effort. I understand though, because I never see these kind of questions and get annoyed because I want to say I've been there before. I started off very slim. I wanted to always be bigger, but I understand that for some women, it's intimidating. You're conditioned to always want to be small and to look petite. And we now have all these phrases like Pilates arms, and we want to be the smallest version possible, but we have to, I want everyone to understand that to build muscle and to look toned, you need to build muscle.
Right.
To then have that sort of lean toned look you just need to lose the fat on top. So bodybuilding is the perfect way to do that because I teach you how to both build that mass and then shed that fat. And it's a process. And
I haven't said anything about it here, but I like to remind everybody, when I started this 11 months ago, I was a size 24, 22, 24. And now I'm a size 12, which that's on my upper body because I have broad shoulders. That's a size 12 dress, but I can get into size 10 pants. Just saying. Wow. Okay. That's incredible. Like half my size.
That's incredible.
From bodybuilding.
Exactly.
And one of the things that I love is that you encourage us to eat and eat appropriately. You have workshops on nutrition within the app in our chat. They're in the pin section. So if you're new to the chat, go look at the coach pins. Okay. She put a lot of time into those. But how do you keep everyone feeling challenged, but also still motivated and excited within the program?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, we do the A and B week. So that keeps people interested without changing things too much. But I also like to constantly educate. So like you said earlier, maybe adding, I don't use too many supersets, but I will do some for upper body and adding in the occasional intensifier. I like to do things like pre-exhaust method, another bodybuilding technique, or we'll do a top set, back off set. So experimenting with different rep ranges because that just keeps things fun without actually changing it.
Can you tell us about the pre-exhaust method? Because I had never heard about that until you brought it up one day, and now I'm like, oh, I love this. Anytime I do see it in the workout, I get super excited. My husband's joined Team Ascend now, so he's working out with me. I can't get rid of him. And that was new to him. I was like, we have to do a pre-exhaust method today. I'm such a snob. He thinks I know everything now, but he won't leave. He loves being in Ascent, even though he's a boy. He's not active in the chat, but he's there working out with me all of the time.
That.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
And that's what I was going to say. Do you feel like your program would work for men?
100%. I mean, we have a slight bias towards glutes. So if a man doesn't want to grow glutes as their main focus, you can always skip that third leg day, or usually I do a third. Sometimes my last leg day will be glutes and back. So I think it can work for men and women. But we have David, who's a long-term Team Ascend member.
David. We love you, David.
Shout out, David. Yes. We've got loads. I've seen loads of men that come in and out the team. But I would say if you are a man trying to join Team Ascend, you can always add a bit more chest volume, because that's one thing I don't have a lot of. I'll have maybe 2 chest movements per week, because it's not a main focus for my hourglass sort of silhouette I'm aiming for. But you can always customize.
How do you personally stay motivated to continue to hit the gym and, challenge yourself and grow, but then also still create a program for thousands of people? Because you're not just coaching one person. You have to tailor it for so many people at different levels.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly use training as sort of like a savior for me. It's therapy, and it helps keep me sane. And I've done it for so long that it's just become ingrained in my routine. So I don't see it as something I have to do. Like even today, I'm thinking, oh, my session after this, I'm excited. It keeps me energized, because I was even telling you earlier, some people get energized through socializing, like yourself. For me, I love people, but I have a very small window, and then I need to recharge. So training keeps me going, and having so much energy around me constantly with people on the team, questions, work meetings. I wear myself thin a lot, so I really need training.
Okay, so we're going to move on to some funny pop culture questions. And this is my first episode, guys, so bear with me. Okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Is it like a yes or no thing? Is it it's not the quick fire, is it? It's just
I don't think it's
questions.
a quick fire, but
That's
it's after, yeah. So be honest, how often do people accuse you of being AI, and have you ever leaned into it?
Well, when I started Ladder and you guys were accusing me, I actually didn't even know. I'm like a grandma. I didn't know what ChatGPT was or AI, and I was like, is AI like CGI? That's what I thought AI was. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I guess it's a compliment. I like to be acknowledged for my mind. So if someone says, oh, you write so well, you could be AI, I'll take it.
We, one of the reasons too, like I just remember hearing like, your program is not a person. It was programmed by an AI, Aria's AI, because, all of the AI bots have English accents.
Oh, it was the accent.
Yeah. But also you're so pretty, Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right. So, I know we touched on this earlier, but you do get the trolls that say you have BBL allegations and you have ab etching specifically. What is your response when people say that?
Yeah, the ab etching one it only happens when I'm cut, because I feel like a lot of people online, they're so chronically online that they will see a bit of fat loss and go, that was lipo, that was ab etching. But when I fluctuate in weight, I'll lose a lot of fat on my stomach, and that happens. But when I'm bulking, I don't get those.
One of the comments I saw that some people were claiming you removed your ribs.
Yeah, that one I get.
That one was crazy.
I didn't know that's possible.
And one girl was like, "Can you show me the sides of your rib cage?" She wanted you to post a video with the sides just to make sure you didn't have scars along your ribs.
And I did it, and then they go quiet because they've got no response.
Yeah, you're like, you can watch 1,000 videos that I have on here to see.
I mean, I get it, because so many people do have surgery and then might sell programs off the back of it, which I think is really, really damaging. But I just think also when you see me, I constantly post my hip dips. I don't think I have a body that looks like it's had surgery, but I guess all you can say is it's a compliment.
It is a compliment for sure. I do photograph women of all bodies, all shapes and sizes, and I have personally seen ab etching. It definitely looks different because you get the lipo burn on there.
Okay. Is that
So
like a texture thing?
it's like a texture thing with like, you can't, even if the person is very clean, like if you gain any weight or lose any weight, the dips and stuff will show. Yeah, your stomach does not look like that at all. I've seen her stomach because I photographed her. So I can tell you that firsthand. And I photograph a lot of women. It's just somewhere with the texture, I guess, when they take it off, the tissue just doesn't always connect properly. So you can see that. Why does every member ask for more core, more cardio, and less rest? I'm not going to say every member. I'm going to say every new person, especially if they come from other teams, because this is a bodybuilding team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the question, why do they?
Yeah. Why does, and how do you cleanse the palate there? How do you like educate them on your program?
Yeah. Well, I actually do include a lot of core, more than I do myself. I will be honest. I will do 3 sets of cable crunches. That'll be me done for the week. If anything, I have skipped it for a few weeks. But I like to include 2 ab sessions during
I'm going to say your current core, what's happening right now.
It's doing too much.
Oh my God.
I agree. But I did it for you guys. You guys asked for more core.
Oh my God. One of my friends called me. She was like, I realized how weak my core is. You know, she was like, I had no idea. No, some of us know that, you know, you're working our core with all the big compound movements. Like we learned that we're just know-it-alls, you know?
Because I think people come to my team and maybe think I should be training abs 4 times a week and doing a lot of cardio, and that's how I'm going to get snatched. And I hate this word. I will never use it in my advertising or anything, because what I want everyone to know is that you will lose fat by being in a calorie deficit and also combining it with strength training. This is the key, because you need to be building that muscle mass, because when you've got more muscle, your body is naturally going to be burning fat. Even when you're resting, you know, and eating more protein, it has the highest thermic effect. So when you eat protein, that macro takes the most energy to burn it out of your system. So even just by eating protein, your body is burning more calories than it would with other foods. So putting all of these things together, you're going to lose a lot more weight than you would just doing 8 hours of abs and killing yourself on the Stairmaster and not doing weights.
One thing that has been really, really cool about this whole process, because I started at, you know, I was so big, that I've noticed, because I've had friends that have lost weight through other methods, and a lot of it has been with cardio. And even me in the past, when I lost weight because of cardio or being in a very big calorie deficit at like 1,200 calories a day, what I noticed is that you just take your bigger body and you shrink it and it looks exactly the same. It's just smaller. But with bodybuilding, like, you know your stuff. I'm getting an hourglass. Like, I have curves, I have hips, I have a smaller waist. And one thing I've never in my life, I did not think it was possible for me to have butt cheeks. Okay. Like, I make this joke, but I'm always like, they used to call me pancake butt back in the day. So sad. But
We've got a lot of glute work in there now.
But it was like, there's the back, and then there's what's supposed to be my butt and my hamstrings, but it all goes straight down. That's how it's always been. And so it was really exciting, because a few months ago I looked back. So I've never took video of myself from the back, because I'm like, there's nothing there. But I looked back and I had booty cheeks, like little baby booty cheeks. And I was like, where are my BBL allegations? Because hello.
And this is muscle. Yeah. That is bodybuilding. And I feel like more people need to realize.
Like, you can, it was mind boggling to see that I can actually shape my body into what I want to by working out these muscles.
100%. I mean, I always want people to understand this, because when I put my before and afters, they are that crazy. Because yes, of course, everyone's bone structure plays a part. And I always acknowledge this. I've got wider hip bones, and everyone's bone structure will have a slightly different effect. I'm not here going, hey guys, we are all going to look like this. But the way I was built before, I don't carry weight in my lower body. I've got a very slim lower body. Before I started training, I had no shape. And just from building muscle, I've created that kind of silhouette that's just enhances the hourglass. And the more you do it, the more you enhance it.
Have you ever programmed a workout and thought, oh man, this is pure evil?
Well, you're asking the wrong person, because for me, like, there's no limit of evil. But then I hear from you guys in the chat, it's always like the Thursday leg day it tends to be.
Yes. those lunges at the end. Why do we have to finish with lunges like that?
Because lunges grow your ass. And we do the things that are hard. But I honestly, I am a bit sneaky because I'll throw things in there that I know will get comments in the chat often. So I just want to challenge you guys. So I enjoy giving you guys a challenging workout.
And everybody loves it. They're like, my muscles are about to fall off the bone. Yeah. That's kind of an ascend thing that we hear all the time. I love that. And they're like, I hate you. Do it again. Yeah. Those are my favorite comments.
Or when they say, oh, I cussed you out so much. Sorry, Aria. I really cussed you out today. And I'm just like, this is a good sign.
How do you know when to motivate us, though? It's crazy because we're like dying, like those Bulgarian split squats. So we're like, we're going to Bulgaria this week and we're dying. And then you're like, get off the floor. And we're like, how does she know?
It's crazy. Yeah, me and Coach Andre, we both love our Bulgarians. We were talking about that the other day. Well, I just know what to say because I do these workouts and I've trained like this for so long that I'm like, okay, after the second set, I would be dying personally. So I'm going to throw that in there.
It's great. I love it. We love it. What's your go-to meal after a heavy leg day?
I'm a big foodie. Mm-hmm. I don't have a favorite meal, but I will always do some kind of meat with rice, or I do love spaghetti bolognese.
Oh, spaghetti bolognese.
I love beef, so I like anything with ground beef.
Do you recommend that we do your workouts on an empty stomach, fasted, or should we eat before your workouts?
Definitely eat. I always talk about the importance of pre-workout nutrition, but I understand if you have to train super early, even if you're a 4 a.m. gym girl, you should eat some quick carbs before.
Yeah, it made a big difference for me once I got permission, permission to eat. I started doing a raisin bread. It's under 100 calories. And I put banana on it. And it's so good.
I could eat a whole loaf of raisin bread.
Oh my gosh. And I noticed it. I was like, well, I'm going to test this out on a leg day. I used to get nauseous. I used to even throw up after one of your leg days. Like by the time we got to the Smith machine exercises, and that hasn't happened in many, many months since I started eating some carbs and protein, even if it's really, really.
I used to often feel really nauseous. Yeah. And that was before I learned more about nutrition. So you need to really fuel yourself for those kind of workouts.
So since we're talking about that, that's another thing that I also see people like go crazy about on Reddit. They go crazy. They don't believe you that you eat that much. Mm-hmm. They're like, if she eats that much, she would be like 400 pounds or something like that. And then I think it's hilarious when it's men comparing themselves to women and saying, well, I'm 5'7", and if I eat over 2,500 calories, I would be,
I'm nearly 6 foot, and I think I have more muscle than you as well. So people that don't need to understand the amount of muscle you have, your genetics, your experience in the gym, how tall you are, it's going to affect your metabolism.
And so that's also why you don't give us a blanket statement on the amount of calories we need to eat. So
never. And I don't share my own personal macros because I actually love talking about this. I struggled with eating disorder for many years. And I am so proud to say I have not binged in so long. I can't remember the last time I binged, but I struggled a lot with binging. And that was caused by calorie restriction and from following these influencers posts going, what I eat in a day, 1,600 calories. And I'm looking at that and I'm 5'11". I'm thinking, I must eat that. And bear in mind, I'm working 60 hours a week in a restaurant. I'm also training. I was doing cardio in the morning. I was doing 15K steps. If you eat 1,600 calories, you're going to be in starvation. So I was trying so hard. And I look back at the old me and I just want to hug her because I'm just like, you were trying your best and you were just doing what you could with what you had. And now looking at me, I'm eating 3 times what I used to eat. And I haven't binged. I don't have anxiety around food. And that's just from learning. And I always talk about this nutrition literacy and understanding the importance of different macros and not seeing food as good and bad, but just thinking, is this going to help my workout? Is this going to support my goals? And just focusing on whole foods, eating more protein, fueling yourself before your sessions, not just trying to have the least amount of calories and actually focusing on your performance in the gym. Like we said, lifting heavier, progressive overload, that is truly what changes your physique.
One of the things that I think is really interesting is like everybody wants that black and white answer. And then they all believe, well, if I only eat this much, then you should only be able to eat this much. And as somebody who was in a bigger body, and I really truly believe that I never ate, I was like, I didn't eat a lot. I don't understand why I was so big. That's partially true, but I also drink a lot. So I love my margaritas.
That's the secret calories that sneak in.
Yeah. But when I would track, and it was so crazy because when I would actually start tracking and paying attention, and you think, well, I've already learned this. I already know how many calories are in things. I can just do it in my head. You can't. It's like, at least for me, I can't. Out of sight, out of mind, trying to keep it in my head. And then when I would actually sit down and write down everything I ate, I had 2,400 calories. I had 2,500 calories, and it's only 6 p.m. or it's only 3 p.m. It's noon. I have 500 calories. So it's like, it sneaks up. And a lot of that with the nutrition literacy, just because something is healthy, right? It doesn't always mean that it should go into your meal plan at that time. Because some of it is timing.
100%.
It's going to be more calorie dense. So for your goal, if you want to stay in a deficit, maybe cooking with olive oil or might be a better or not a great choice. Maybe I should do Pam and save that 100 calories there so I could have something else.
Stop being mindful.
Yes. Yeah.
But not restrictive.
Right.
It shouldn't get to the point where you never eat rice. You just do cauliflower rice because you can't go over a certain calorie count. I mean, I think I gave myself IBS back then. I was eating cauliflower for every meal. I had painful bloat. I thought I was allergic to everything. There was one point when apples would bloat me. And that was just from over-restriction and just causing so many digestive issues through basically hurting my body with nutrition. And the timing was all over the place. Now I can eat anything. So it just shows how important it is for your health.
Can I actually tell you that since I've been in your program, I actually eat more carbs? Like I eat potatoes. I eat sweet potatoes, regular potatoes. I don't think I had a regular potato in years. I actually eat things like rice as well and whole wheat bread. I was like ketoing it all the time, and I was still really, really big. So that's one of the things that I love. I love telling people I love food, and I get to feel satiated. I get to, I get to eat and make my food. Now I try to make my food look pretty,
I hate that there's a lot of shame around food for women, and that it's even, for some people, it's embarrassing to say, I love food, I'm a foodie. That's why I like to talk in the chat, share my food, or say, God, I can't, or someone says, I feel guilty for binging last night, or I had a cookie. I'm just like, eat it. Eat the chocolate. And I like to hype people up, like food isn't something to be ashamed about.
She let me have ice cream. She was like, girl, get some ice cream.
Yeah, the other day, I mean, exactly, eat the ice cream, treat yourself. It's so hard to find that balance. Because I'm here telling you guys, eat whole foods, eat protein, like let's be mindful of our goals. But there's doing that, and there's doing it in a damaging way. You also want to enjoy your life.
Well, even when I started this, I actually allowed myself half a cup of ice cream every day because ice cream is my favorite dessert. And I think for at least 3 of the series, and each series is 6 weeks. So if you include your deload period, I think with 3 series, it's about 90 days. So it's about 3 months. For those first 90 days, I had ice cream every single day. And then eventually I was like, I don't need ice cream anymore.
Because you're not restricted. Right. And your brain is not telling yourself you need to binge on it because we're not allowed to eat this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're so amazing for that. So finish this sentence. You know you're on Team Ascend when
every back movement you are thinking about squeezing oranges in your armpit.
Yes.
I feel like I say this cue all the time. Whenever we do a lat movement, specifically, I always say squeeze the orange in your armpit. It's a really good cue to kind of engage your lat.
I love it. That's perfect. Yeah. So tell us the truth. How short is too short for a rest period? Or is a rest period meant to be social hour?
Well, it depends. It's going to be individual for everyone. It's honestly, as soon as your heart rate has come fully down and you're able to hit your next set hard, you should go. But I think if you're doing a leg compound movement, if you're able to go after 1 minute, it's too short. I tend to do 2, 3, 4 minutes.
That's the part that I find interesting when people are like, why do I have to wait for so long? Like if you're ready to go a little heavier.
Yeah, it's not the rest time that needs to change. It's you. And let's increase the intensity. It's important.
Yeah. Okay, so rapid fire. We're ready for the rapid fire questions.
This went so quickly.
Yes.
You're just having a nice chat.
You are amazing. This is like my first guest, my first episode. I hope you are loving this.
I'm honored. My first podcast and your first time hosting.
Yes. Yeah. So it's going to blow up. Okay, so like and subscribe below.
Let's manifest it.
Okay, so rapid fire questions, this or that. Hip thrusts or RDLs?
RDL.
Core finishers or glute burnouts?
Core finisher.
Okay. Slow tempo or max volume?
Slow tempo.
Okay. High ponytail or messy bun?
High pony.
Steady state cardio or burpees?
Steady state, of course. I was about to say burpees as a joke, but you will never see me do
I was like, you better not. I'm like, if you put burpees,
I don't think
I might have a heart attack. That might be where like, Aria, are you trying to kick me out?
Girl,
No, God.
you won't see that ever. You're
Okay, thank you. You heard it, okay?
You heard it.
It's on record. Okay. Monday workouts or Friday mobility day?
Monday. And it's always a leg day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a leg day. But you switched it up this series, or we're in deload right now?
We're doing glutes and hamstrings. Sometimes I'll do glutes and quads Monday.
I think you put mobility in the middle of the week now.
Mean with the mobility?
And I am in shock.
Yeah, that was an experiment. We're going back to our normal, but we have core conditioning Wednesday now.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it, but because I move my days because I have to do them a day early because of my schedule. So Monday's workout I do on Sundays.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, but
you got a little midweek breakdown.
Yeah. So cool. I'm kind of like, kind of like it. Okay, so TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Superset or giant set?
Superset. No one has any business doing giants.
What is a giant set?
It's when you do 3 or 4 exercises in a row. Just like, we're doing too much here.
Is this like a circuit? Because I do not like circuits.
Yes, it will be like doing a hip thrust and then an RDL and then jump squats. For me personally, it's too much.
I can't. Sometimes I go to the gym and our gyms here, they're super packed. These commercial gyms are super packed and it's like social hour now. Back in my day when I was young, I would be like the only woman in the weight room. Rarely. Like everybody was on the cardio equipment. That's it. And now it's not like that at all. And it's very social. So it's like you see groups of people just hanging out around the machine. And then sometimes they do a circuit and they'll have 3 machines, but all of them are on one machine and you go to use another one and they're like, we're using that.
It's always like that.
Yeah.
But when I started and I was 15 or 16 and I used to go alone because I didn't have any friends that did it. I remember going to I don't know how I did it, the confidence, but I was in a male dominated space with I was on my phone trying to copy the exercises from Google. Aww. And I'm proud of myself being a little girl just doing that. I think all women should have that confidence to go in and we can all build that confidence. Yeah, because especially back then it's like a male dominated space and you're this like little girl and I'm like, I'm doing it. That's why you're amazing. Sore for 2 days or sore forever? For 2 days would be better.
Oh, that
who would choose sore forever?
I don't know. We have some weird people that come in and are like, I'm not even sore. I can't feel anything anymore. But did you talk about that a little bit? Actually, is soreness a good judge of like a good workout? It depends. It's not the sole indicator of a good workout. But if you're consistently never sore, then you might want to look at, are you progressing with weight? But me and myself, I don't often get extremely sore, only when I change the whole routine. But now I'm on a new program where I'm actually tracking my weights because for a long time, I just do it visually and feeling it because I know my body. But now I'm actually writing down the weights because I want to get to that next level with strength. I am getting more sore. So as long as you're pushing yourself with the weight every week and you are feeling yourself training to failure or close to failure, then you're still going to make progress. You know, that's one of the things that I like about ladder too, is that it makes it not intimidating and it feeds you the information in very, I would say, chewable. Yeah. You know, because I wouldn't know how to program progressive overload. Obviously, you've done it. But the fact that they have like a journal there and we're tracking that way and then they show us, you got a PB today and, you know, you have a streak and all of those things, you know, they give you that dopamine hit that you need where you're like, I need to get my badge today. But then you also get these celebrations like, oh my gosh, I have a new PB. I'm hip thrusting this much. And what I love also is that everyone in the chat, when they do get PBs, they like to post them. Yeah. And some of the things I've realized, I'm like, man, I'm holding myself back. How is this little girl, you know, hip thrusting 155 pounds and I'm still at, you know, 90 pounds. So it's like that positive kind of, what's the phrase when it's positive competition? Yeah. It's like, it's not in a negative way. It's like we inspire each other to grow and push harder. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like, if she can do it, I can do it. So it's definitely the inspiration there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this has been an amazing conversation.
Are we done?
Yes. Can you believe that? We were having so much fun. But you're just wonderful. I want to say that again. Thank you so much for being my very first guest. Shout out to your mother. She sounds amazing. I know we didn't get to talk about her a lot here, but I would love, actually, before we close, I would love you to tell us a little bit about your mom, because you're a girl's girl, and I can tell it's because you have like this great relationship with your mom.
I am. And actually, funnily enough, I used to be a daddy's girl, and I love my dad. Don't get me wrong. I love my dad and mum equally, and my stepdad. I've got 2 dads. But my mum, I have such a bond with, because I really relate to her, and we're so similar. And I actually did my psychology degree following in her footsteps. And I think she's just such a smart, intelligent woman. She was a model since she was 13. So she left home and supported her family at 13. Had an amazing modeling career. I mean, I'm talking the 80s top models. With Naomi Campbell working alongside, that kind of level.
That's so cool.
Beautiful woman. But then she's like me. We don't want to be just known for our looks or to be kind of like a trophy. That's why I'm so big on showing my mind. And so she, just like me, she went and got I went in her footsteps. She became a psychotherapist, and now she's a doctor. She got a PhD. I did the same course as her. And then I built my business just inspired by her, because she inspires me to be the best me and to kind of follow your dreams and show. She's a healer as well.
And you know what? And she's put you out here into this world, and now you are inspiring thousands of women.
I guess,
yeah.
So
incredible.
We're both trying to heal the world one woman at a time.
To everyone listening, thanks for listening to us today. Don't forget to join and subscribe. I want you to stay strong, stay soft when it matters, and remember, if your cool down includes a plank, it was never really a cool down. So see you on the next episode of the Goddess Lab.